The Silurian Hypothesis: could an industrial civilization have existed before us? The geological record of Earth spans approximately 5 billion years. Modern humans have existed for approximately 300,000 years. We have been an industrial civilization for approximately 300 years, roughly 0.0000006% of Earth's history. The Silurian Hypothesis asks a deceptively simple question: if the geological record preserves 5 billion years of Earth history, and if human industrial civilization has existed for only 300 years, what is the probability that we would be able to detect evidence of a prior industrial civilization that lasted a similar length of time and collapsed tens of millions of years ago? The hypothesis was formalized by astrophysicist Adam Frank of the University of Rochester and NASA climate scientist Gavin Schmidt in a 2018 paper in the International Journal of Astrobiology. They named it after the Silurians, an intelligent reptilian species in the British science fiction series Doctor Who that supposedly predated humanity on Earth. Frank and Schmidt were not suggesting that the Silurians actually existed, but using them as a fictional stand-in for any intelligent technological species that might have arisen and disappeared before humans evolved. Frank and Schmidt examined what geological signatures modern human civilization would leave behind if it collapsed today. Industrial civilization produces detectable isotopic anomalies, elevated carbon-13 to carbon-12 ratios from fossil fuel burning, elevated nitrogen isotopes from agricultural fertilizers, plutonium and other radioactive isotopes from nuclear testing, elevated concentrations of rare earth elements from electronics manufacturing, and a distinct layer of microplastics and synthetic organic compounds. These signatures would be detectable in geological cores for a certain period, but how long? The analysis found that the detectability window is narrower than most people assume. Radioactive isotopes decay. Plastics fragment and eventually degrade in geological timescales. The isotopic anomalies, while distinctive, would become increasingly difficult to distinguish from background variation over millions of years. Frank and Schmidt estimated that the most durable signatures, isotopic changes in carbon and other elements, might be detectable for tens of millions of years. But a civilization that used little or no fossil fuel and left only a modest industrial footprint might leave almost no detectable trace after 50 million years. The Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, the PETM, occurred approximately 56 million years ago and represents the best geological analog for rapid greenhouse gas injection into the atmosphere. During the PETM, approximately 1 to 5 trillion tons of carbon were injected into the atmosphere over roughly 20,000 years, causing a global temperature spike. Frank and Schmidt noted that if a prior industrial civilization had caused a similar carbon injection, its signature in the geological record would look very similar to the PETM. We have studied the PETM extensively and concluded it was entirely natural. But could we tell the difference if it wasn't? The most sobering aspect of the Silurian hypothesis is what it implies for the abundance or rarity of technological civilizations in the universe. If we cannot reliably detect evidence of a prior industrial civilization on our own planet after tens of millions of years, then the absence of evidence for such civilizations in the geological record cannot be used as evidence of absence. Earth's geological record covers 5 billion years. Complex animal life has existed for approximately 550 million years. Technological civilizations could have arisen and collapsed multiple times in that window, and we might simply not be able to see them. The Silurian hypothesis has implications for SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. If prior civilizations on Earth would be undetectable after tens of millions of years, then the absence of detected extraterrestrial signals cannot rule out the prior existence of numerous civilizations throughout the galaxy. Civilizations might rise, flourish briefly on astronomical timescales, and collapse, leaving no detectable trace in the universe's radio spectrum. The great silence of SETI might not mean we are alone. It might mean we are simply looking at the universe's present moment and missing its past. The Silurian hypothesis is a thought experiment, not a claim. Frank and Schmidt were not proposing that a dinosaurian civilization or pre-human technological species actually existed on Earth. They were posing a methodological challenge. Can we rule it out? The honest answer is that we cannot completely rule it out, and that limitation says something important about the nature of geological evidence and our ability to reconstruct deep time. We know a great deal about the last 66 million years. But the 484 million years before that, the Paleozoic, is far less understood. It contains deep silences we have not yet learned to read.